It's hard to put into perspective what John Cena means to people because he means so many things to so many different people. To some, he's the greatest of all time. To others, he's a product of the system. To some, I don't know. In terms of wrestling capabilities, I say this tactfully. He's no Bret Hart. He's no Shawn Michaels. Um, he's not CM Punk. But that's the thing about Cena. He doesn't need to be any of those. I mean, when you look at Stone Cold Steve Austin, after he had the accident at SummerSlam 97 and switched to being a brawler, he wasn't exactly the most technical wrestler in the ring, but what got Stone Cold over was that he was just being himself. And I feel like Cena was exactly the same way. And this Saturday, because at the time of making this is midnight on Wednesday morning here in the UK. This Saturday will be Cena's final Survivor Series as he defends the Intercontinental Championship against Dominic Mysterio. I did have an inkling that they would make Cena a Grand Slam champion because he's done everything else. The only thing I feel like was kind of a missed opportunity, and it's a similar missed opportunity they did with Big Show when he was still with the company, because if they had made Big Show Universal Champion, he would have been the only active wrestler to have been WCW Champion, WWF and then WW and now WWE, World Heavyweight Champion, and then Universal Champion. So WCW, ECW, WWE, Universal, and then WWE's own version of the World Heavyweight title. He would have held 5 different world titles. And on a slight side tangent, I feel like WWE don't pull the trigger when they should have, but that's a video for another time. I was a detractor of Cena's for quite a small while during the 2010s because I feel like at that point he had been shoved down our throats too much. Because I was a fan of his in the beginning, particularly in the lead up to WrestleMania 21 when he captured his first world title against JBL and then brought in the spinner belt. And the weirdest thing is, I actually would prefer to see the spinner belt make a comeback and replace the current world title. Because I feel like with the the WWE title, the way it is now, it's kind of bland with no imagination. I mean, the spinner belt, I will give some credibility to Cena. That was some creativity. But personally, I think the last decent WWE Championship was the Undisputed title in 2002. But I can't ignore the big gold belt, but that was a product of WCW. Let's keep that in mind. But particularly in the last few years when we haven't seen John as much, you appreciate those moments because at that point you never knew when he was going to show up again. And now we're probably, just over 2 weeks away from Saturday night's main event, his final match. And that leads me to, which is going to be partially a prediction. I predict that Cena will retain the Intercontinental Championship. And his last match will be against whomever wins the Last Time Is Now tournament. And his last match, and think about this, whomever wins in that match, if they decide his opponent is going to go over, they can not only say that they won the Intercontinental title, but that title will have great significance because they won it against John Cena, a record time 17-time world champion, in his last match. But then there's also this other possibility. What if Cena goes over? What then? Will it be a scenario where he comes out on Raw, the next Raw after Saturday night's main event, and then drops the IC title? I mean, when you think about it in some respects, most wrestlers, when they're leaving or retiring, they are supposed to lose their last match. Although in the case of Undertaker, that result at WrestleMania 36 against AJ Styles, he was owed that win. I still think to this day he should never have dropped the streak to Brock Lesnar because Brock didn't need it. But that's a subject that's been beaten to death. Let's leave it where it is. I'm going to be sad to see Cena go. Genuinely. This is a guy that took the baton when it was passed to him from Stone Cold, and now he's run with it. And I feel like that baton has been passed to Cody Rhodes. And Cody's doing all right. But for Cena, it will be the end of an era. I think what Cena is doing is smart, because he's leaving whilst he's still able to go. That's a little something that, and I say this with respect, this is something that the likes of Ric Flair, Undertaker didn't do. Now we know why Taker hung around for as long as he did. It's because he wanted that fairy tale ending like Shawn Michaels had at WrestleMania 26. I'd argue the match the year prior at WrestleMania 25 was superior, but that's me for you. And also, I've said this till I've been blue in the face. There is something about that Mania 26 match with Taker. Michaels took something from him, because Taker was never the same after that. But it is what it is. Cena, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. You've done more for the company than you could possibly ever think. The things that you did for Make-A-Wish, I will never speak ill of, because when you put a smile on somebody's face when they needed it the most, and you make their life that much brighter, that's noble. And I commend you for that. So, I know I'm probably saying this ahead of time, but thank you. Enjoy your retirement, and thank you for the memories. Enjoy your retirement, champ.